The Mediterranean sun, a brilliant molten sphere hanging in the late afternoon sky, painted long shadows over the cobblestone streets of San Rafael, a quaint seaside town. Eleanor Vance, a woman of refined elegance and timeless grace, adjusted the wide-brimmed hat shielding her eyes. At 51, her beauty had only matured, high cheekbones, a strong jawline, and eyes that held a blend of wisdom and melancholy. A renowned architect admired for her innovative designs, Eleanor now felt her meticulously built life as fragile as a sandcastle before a rising tide. Her recent divorce, a protracted and painful ordeal, had left her adrift like a ship without a rudder. The home she once shared now reverberated with emptiness, and the comfort of familiar routines felt more like a cage. Seeking solace, she had journeyed to San Rafael, hoping the sea breeze and unfamiliar surroundings might help her rediscover a sense of wholeness. Liam O'Connell, 28, was a burst of energy against the serene backdrop of the town square. Tall and lean, with unruly dark hair, he embodied youthful vitality. A writer by trade, he spent his days spinning intricate tales inspired by his boundless curiosity and his nights soaking in the town's vibrant culture. San Rafael, with its slow rhythm and captivating scenery, had been his refuge for the past year, offering peace and space to create. As he strolled along the waterfront, a battered notebook tucked under his arm, Liam was lost in thought, crafting the final scene of his novel. The sun bathed the sky in hues of orange and purple, its light dancing on the water, a sight so mesmerizing that he failed to notice the figure walking toward him. Eleanor, searching for a quiet cafe, was caught off guard when she bumped into him, sending her sketchbook flying. "Oh, I'm terribly sorry," she exclaimed, her voice slightly breathless. Startled, Liam looked up, his surprise giving way to a smile. "No, it's my fault," he replied, his gaze lingering on her. She was striking, a woman whose quiet strength and poise commanded attention. He bent to retrieve her fallen pages, handing them back with a warm, easy smile. "Thank you," Eleanor said, accepting the sketchbook. Their fingers brushed briefly, sparking an unexpected warmth. She glanced at the sketches within, admiring their intricate detail. "These are lovely," she remarked. "Are you an architect?" Liam chuckled. "No, I'm not. But you are, aren't you?" Her brow lifted in surprise, though she didn't seem unsettled by his knowledge. "Yes, I am," she admitted, a smile softening her expression. "I've been trying to sketch an old Parisian building for a story I'm working on," he explained, "but my drawing skills leave much to be desired." He shrugged with a self-deprecating grin. "Perhaps I could offer some guidance," she offered. "I'd like that," he said, surprised by his own enthusiasm. For a moment, they stood together, the world around them dimming into the background. The chance encounter felt like an unexpected reprieve for Eleanor, a break from the weight of her recent past. To Liam, it was a brush with elegance and depth unlike anything he had known. The air between them seemed to hum with possibility, an unspoken promise that fate had perhaps meant for their paths to cross on this sunlit evening by the sea. Over the next few days, Eleanor and Liam found themselves increasingly drawn to each other, as though by an invisible magnetic force. They met regularly at the small beachfront cafe, where hours slipped by in conversation about their passions and personal stories. Eleanor was enthralled by Liam's unbounded creativity and zest for life, while Liam was captivated by her intelligence, refinement, and quiet resilience. Her graceful composure fascinated him, and she found his youthful energy both refreshing and exhilarating. Liam couldn't help but wrestle with his doubts about their age gap. His past relationships had always been with women close to his own age, making this uncharted territory. Though he found Eleanor stunning, an insistent voice whispered that their connection was doomed. He feared she might dismiss him as too young, too inexperienced, or assume he was after her success rather than her companionship. Eleanor, too, battled her insecurities. After years without romance, she was both anxious and unsure of how to navigate her feelings. Being drawn to a man nearly half her age made her question her own judgment. She worried about how others would perceive them, but she couldn't deny the thrill she felt when Liam was near. Would he eventually see her as too old, too complicated, too burdened by life's responsibilities? Could their vastly different worlds ever truly align? One breezy afternoon as they wandered through the bustling market, Liam's uncertainty bubbled to the surface. Eleanor, he began cautiously, this might sound strange, but are you worried about our age difference? She stopped, her eyes meeting his directly. Yes, Liam, I won't lie. It does concern me. She paused, choosing her words carefully. I can't pretend it doesn't exist, but when I'm with you, it doesn't feel so important. You make me feel like I've known you forever. Does it matter to you? Relieved by her candor, Liam sighed. Honestly, I do think about it, but being with you feels so natural, so right, that I just don't care. I didn't want my doubts to stop me from acting on how I feel. Their shared vulnerability opened a new chapter in their relationship. Despite their fears, the undeniable connection between them only deepened. Over the next week, they went on more dates, each one knitting them closer together. They dined at hidden gems in the old town, strolled along the coastal promenade, and hiked the nearby mountains, exchanging stories and laughter that erased the years between them. They bonded over their mutual love for classical music, a shared affection for vintage films, and conversations that wandered through life's mysteries with effortless ease. Concerned voices from their respective worlds soon emerged. Clara, Eleanor's best friend and a sharp-witted interior designer, voiced her reservations during a phone call. Ellie, darling, are you serious about this? Clara's tone was skeptical. He's gorgeous, sure, but he could be your son. I know, Eleanor admitted, a defensive edge creeping into her voice. But it's different, Clara. He's not what you think. He brings something into my life I didn't realize I was missing. Clara sighed. Just be careful. I don't want to see you get hurt. Meanwhile, Liam confided in Ethan, his closest friend and a fellow writer living in Barcelona. I met someone amazing, Liam confessed, his excitement unmistakable. But she's a lot older than me, almost as old as Mom. Ethan let out a bark of laughter. Wow, didn't see that coming? But if she makes you this happy, who cares? Age is just a number if you treat each other well. The world's judgments hovered like shadows, but the pull between Eleanor and Liam remained undeniable. Their shared moments grew richer and more profound, evolving from casual outings to quiet evenings at home, sharing meals, recounting past dreams, and discovering unexpected commonalities. One evening, on Eleanor's candlelit patio, they spoke of lifelong aspirations. She described her vision for a sustainable community, while Liam revealed his dream of publishing a novel series. Their words flowed seamlessly, revealing a harmony neither had anticipated. Together, they challenged each other in ways that sparked growth. Liam encouraged Eleanor to embrace spontaneity, while she nudged him to overcome his procrastination and focus on his writing. They became mirrors of each other's potential, drawing strength from their differences. Their first kiss, a hesitant but electric moment, confirmed what words could not. It spoke of unspoken desires and the intensity they both felt. But reality was never far behind. One day at the beach, Eleanor encountered a colleague whose raised eyebrows and curious glances at Liam conveyed unspoken judgments. The scrutiny stung, a reminder of the societal lens fixed on their relationship. Later that week, Liam's sister texted, probing about his new romantic interest. When he revealed it was Eleanor, the ensuing silence was deafening before a flood of questions poured in. Liam felt the weight of familial scrutiny, unfamiliar and unsettling. They don't understand, I know, Eleanor said after Liam recounted his conversation with his sister. But they will, eventually. They just need time. And it doesn't really matter, does it? What matters is how we feel and how we treat each other. Their first real conflict arose when Liam made an offhand remark about Eleanor's taste in music. That's pretty old-fashioned, right? He said, his tone too casual. Eleanor's expression tightened, and she remained silent. The moment stretched uncomfortably as Liam realized his mistake. Her reaction made him see that she might be more sensitive about the age difference than she let on, and guilt gnawed at him. He was the one who had brought it up when she never had. After a long pause, Eleanor finally spoke. Liam, it's not that I can't handle you thinking my taste is old-fashioned, she said softly. But there are a lot of things I love that you might consider outdated. I'm afraid you'll keep pointing them out, and I don't want to feel like I'm being picked apart or that you're embarrassed by my preferences or my age. Her voice quivered as she finished. No, Eleanor, that's not what I meant at all. I'm so sorry. Liam's face filled with remorse. It was thoughtless, and I wasn't thinking. I don't see you as old-fashioned. I think you're incredible. I would never want to make you feel insecure about who you are. They spent the next hour unraveling the fears they had kept buried. Liam admitted his worry that Eleanor might one day see him as too immature. Eleanor confessed her anxiety that Liam would eventually seek someone younger, someone more in step with his generation. Though painful, the argument proved transformative. It compelled them to confront their insecurities, strengthening their bond through greater honesty and vulnerability. They began to understand that open communication would be vital in navigating the complexities of their unconventional relationship. The challenge ahead was not just about societal acceptance. It was about living the day-to-day realities of a love that defied expectations. But they were prepared, because what they had was real and worth fighting for. As the weeks turned into months, Eleanor and Liam became integral parts of each other's lives. They stripped away their emotional defenses, revealing the raw truths beneath. Eleanor shared stories from her childhood, her struggles in a male-dominated career, and the heartbreak of her failed marriage. Liam listened with a quiet attentiveness that made her feel truly seen. He learned about her lingering pain from her divorce and her guarded heart, which only deepened his love and his desire to be a source of healing for her. In turn, Liam opened up about his fears as a writer, his battles with financial instability, and the pressure to meet his family's expectations. He spoke of his self-doubt and the fear of failure that haunted him. Eleanor offered compassion, encouragement, and practical advice, showing him how to embrace his passion for writing rather than live under the weight of others' opinions. Their connection grew stronger, both physically and emotionally. Nights were filled with whispered confessions, tender embraces, and passion that transcended age and experience. Together, they discovered a mutual joy in intimacy, an exploration of each other that was both exhilarating and deeply meaningful. One weekend, seeking solitude and escape, they retreated to a small countryside cottage surrounded by rolling hills and lavender fields. Immersed in nature's tranquility, they surrendered fully to their connection, finding peace in the quiet stillness and joy in each other's presence. One evening, as they lay wrapped in each other's arms, Eleanor finally told Liam the truth about her marriage, that her husband had cheated on her, leading to the divorce. Speaking the painful words brought an unexpected sense of release, and Liam held her close, his heart breaking for all she had suffered. "I'm here, Eleanor," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "I'm not him. I'm here with you, and I'm not going anywhere." That night, under the stars with only the moon as their witness, they made love. It was an act of pure vulnerability and intimacy, a connection deeper than any words could convey. Their bond was sealed by a shared understanding, a trust that words alone could not express. As their relationship grew, they began integrating into each other's daily lives. Eleanor invited Liam to a professional event where he charmed her colleagues with his wit and sincere curiosity about architecture. In return, Liam brought her to a writer's workshop, where her insightful feedback and encouragement gave him the confidence to take risks with his work. They celebrated each other's triumphs and weathered their disappointments together. They became each other's confidants, champions, and closest companions. The judgments of the outside world faded into irrelevance as their private universe grew stronger and more intimate. When Liam's family planned a visit, it would be Eleanor's first time meeting them. Both felt nervous yet hopeful. Liam's mother was polite but aloof, while his father showed cautious acceptance. The lingering doubts in their expressions fed Eleanor's insecurities, leaving her questioning where she stood. That evening, as they talked about the future, Liam took her hands in his. "I know my family isn't easy," he admitted. "It hurts that they don't fully accept us, but I love you. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, if you'll have me." Eleanor smiled, her heart swelling. "I was hoping you'd say that. Yes, I love you too. I can't imagine my life without you, and I'm willing to wait. What matters is that we have each other." Their conversation marked a leap of faith, a step into a future built on mutual respect, understanding, and love. Their connection had grown from passion into a profound emotional bond. Together, they felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. However, as external pressures mounted, their private world began to feel fragile. The whispers they once ignored grew louder, and the glances became harder to dismiss. At an art gallery opening, a former acquaintance approached Eleanor. After a few polite exchanges, the woman smiled thinly and asked, "So, Eleanor, is that your grandson with you tonight?" The question, though cloaked in civility, cut deeply. A blush crept up Eleanor's cheeks, and she struggled for a reply. Liam, standing by her side, stepped in smoothly. "I'm her partner," he said, extending his hand with quiet confidence. Though his words diffused the moment, the sting remained, a stark reminder of how the world viewed their love. The most significant challenges arose when Liam's parents decided to visit again. Their concern over his relationship with Eleanor had grown, especially his mother, who simply couldn't grasp why her son would choose to be with someone so much older. They had clearly hoped that by now he would have ended things, leaving Liam feeling cornered and frustrated. During dinner, his mother made subtle but cutting remarks, praising Eleanor's wisdom and experience, in ways that were clearly references to her age. Eleanor, composed as always, responded gracefully, her poise masking the tension that hung heavily in the room. Liam's parents, like so many others, just couldn't comprehend his choice. They would ask if he was searching for a mother figure in Eleanor. These questions and accusations exhausted Liam. He tirelessly defended their love, but the constant battle wore on him, making him wonder if life would be simpler with someone his own age. "Liam, darling, you're such a bright, handsome young man," his mother said during a private moment. "Surely you don't want to waste your youth with someone who's, well, you know." Anger bubbled beneath Liam's calm exterior. He wanted to shout that he loved Eleanor, that age didn't define their relationship, but instead, he took a steady breath. "Mom," he said firmly, "my relationship isn't your business. I'm happy with Eleanor, and that's all that matters." Returning to San Rafael, they discovered that rumors and judgments had spread even further. Eleanor's colleagues grew distant, while some of Liam's friends joked about him robbing the cradle. The weight of public opinion pressed heavily on their shoulders, straining the connection between them. Eleanor began to question herself. Was she being selfish? Was she keeping Liam from a more conventional life, one with children and a younger partner? She never longed for children before, but now, seeing young couples, she felt a pang of regret. Had she missed her chance? Liam, too, felt burdened by the world's opinions. He overcompensated, becoming defensive and plagued by doubts. Was their love enough to bridge the gap of their age difference? One night, after an encounter with a particularly judgmental acquaintance, Liam finally snapped. "I'm sick of it," he shouted. "Sick of the stares, the whispers, of having to justify us to everyone." Eleanor, weary from her own battles, shot back. "Do you regret it, Liam? Do you regret being with me?" The question hung between them, raw and painful, a reflection of their deepest fears. For a long, agonizing moment, they stared at each other, love clouded by doubt and the crushing weight of others' disapproval. It was a reckoning, a test of their foundation that forced them to confront the possibility that love alone might not be enough. In the days that followed, silence and reflection took hold. They spent time apart, each wrestling with fears and searching for clarity. It was a turning point, and both knew it. Eleanor, feeling lost, drove to the beach. There, the waves mirrored her swirling thoughts. She wasn't as strong as she had believed. She questioned whether she belonged with someone younger, fearing she was a burden, a barrier to Liam's future. What if she was nothing more than a cougar using her wealth to keep him? What if she was ruining his life? The judgments she had tried to dismiss now felt suffocating. Fear consumed her, fear of being pitied, misunderstood, and ultimately unloved. Liam spent most of his days locked in his apartment, consumed by the emptiness her absence left behind. He missed Eleanor deeply, and guilt gnawed at his heart. Shame weighed heavily on him for even allowing himself to consider leaving. He loved her with all his soul, and the mere thought of a life without her was unbearable. He realized how much of the outside criticism he had absorbed, how poorly he had handled it. The anger he felt at people judging their relationship burned within him, but he knew he couldn't let that anger tarnish the beautiful connection they shared. If they were to move forward together, they had to silence the world's noise and focus only on each other. Finally, they met again at the small cafe where their story had begun, a place that had become their refuge. Their eyes locked, and in that gaze there was no judgment, only understanding, vulnerability, and a love that had weathered storms. "I'm sorry, Eleanor," Liam began, his voice thick with remorse. "I never meant to make you feel I doubted us. I was frustrated, insecure, overwhelmed by all the negativity. But none of that changes the truth. I love you. I want you. I would never regret being with you." Eleanor's voice wavered as she replied, "I was scared, Liam. Scared of holding you back, of being a burden, of making you miss out on things. The negativity got to me too. But I realized I don't want to live a life where I can't be with you just because of what other people think." They embraced, holding each other as if the world could disappear in that moment, and in the warmth of their arms, they found reassurance. Their hearts spoke as they shared their deepest fears, their dreams, and their hopes. Together, they made a promise to shield their love from judgment, to be each other's safe place. They set new boundaries, vowing to limit time spent with those who criticized their relationship. They agreed to be honest, to lay bare their insecurities, and to strengthen their communication. With these commitments, they found a renewed confidence in the bond they had built, knowing it was strong enough to withstand the pressures of the world. Liam threw himself back into his writing, encouraged and inspired by Eleanor's unwavering support. His words flowed with new purpose as he worked on his novel. Eleanor, driven by their shared dreams, began redesigning her sustainable community project, weaving Liam's creative vision into her architectural plans. Their love became not only a foundation, but a source of inspiration, propelling each other forward. Together, they embarked on a journey far beyond the boundaries of their small town. They wandered through Florence's museums, soaked in the vibrant chaos of Marrakech's markets, and sat hand in hand watching Bali's sun sink into the horizon. They chose to experience the world not as individuals, but as a couple united by love. Their future remained uncertain, and neither could promise a path free of obstacles. They both understood that society might never fully embrace their love, but they had chosen happiness over conformity, heart over expectation. In the final moments of their story, they sat on the beach in San Rafael, watching the sunrise paint the sea in golden hues. Silence lingered between them, rich with understanding and a love that spoke louder than words. "I love you, Liam," Eleanor said softly, her voice tender with emotion. "I love you too, Eleanor," Liam replied, his eyes shining with devotion. They knew, as they held hands beneath the vast sky, that age was but a number. What truly mattered was the love they had found, their ability to embrace each other's strengths and flaws, their courage to defy conventions and walk their own path. Their journey would be filled with challenges, but they would face them side by side, hand in hand. The story ended on a quiet, hopeful note, a testament to love's power to transform, challenge, and transcend. It was a celebration of connection, of intimacy, of choosing to follow the heart despite the world's disapproval. In their love, they found not only joy, but also the strength to rewrite the narrative of what love could be. Together, they were ready to meet the future, whatever it might hold.